old. My mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger, pushing each other to the limits. We were learning quicker. By 11, smoking herb and drinking burning liquor. Never rich, so we were out to make that steady figure. Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, go get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. Once I was 11 years old. Always had that dream like my daddy before me. So I started writing songs, I started writing stories. Something about that glory just always seemed to bore me. Cause only those I really love will ever really know me. Once I was 20 years old, my story got told before.
Hey, good afternoon. Veterans Counts Veterans, Facebook fans, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. How you doing? It's Tony Williams for our update, the 6th of June. But first, as always, I always got to do my intro. Hey, how you doing? This is the 6th of June. I tell you what, time is going by so fast. And I want to make sure that you guys get updated with what Veterans Counts Veterans is actually doing and see what kind of things we're getting ourselves into. So I wanted to go to a couple of things. I wanted to make sure that people knew about what how we just got through Memorial Day.
He represents
what kind of things I was doing for Memorial Day.
So now it's the guy who's responsible.
Move this here for a second. Put it back on. What I did for Memorial Day, how we reflected, how we did like that. And then I wanted you to know about a special ceremony. And then we'll talk about what's coming up next week that Veterans Council Veteran is very proud of. So first, we got to go through my promo. Veterans Council Veterans' primary mission is to prevent veterans suicide. And we do this by addressing the stressors that cause it. There's like 4 or 5 people who are high risk for suicide, and that's what we want to do it. First, here, take a look at my promo. It takes the whole village to be effective when it comes to suicide prevention. I want you to know that Veterans Council Veteran is part of that community. You will see that suicide is our main focus. We want to welcome other organizations part of this because it's going to take the village.
My name is Kevin Cagle, and I am a U.S. Army veteran, and I'm a military sexual trauma survivor. Every day is a battle, every single day. But I'm not that same person I was 6 years ago that woke up in the morning, grabbed a bottle of vodka, and chased it with beer until I would just pass out at night, and I would beg God to not let me wake up in the morning. I'm not that guy anymore. And I've taken this bad experience that I had, and I'm doing something positive with it. There was no question that I had to do something with what happened to me, and I've had a voice, and I'm being heard. But I have Tony from Veterans Council and Veterans to thank for that. I've met numerous male survivors from military sexual trauma since I've been on this journey, and they wake up every day, grab that bottle, start taking pills, whatever it takes, just to get through the day. And they constantly think about suicide. And if I can keep one person from doing that, it'll be worth it.
And that particular role, as far as that, excuse me, is So we got a spot here. Let me get out of this here. There we go. That was Kevin Cagle. And Kevin Cagle has been with Veterans Council Veteran for a minute. He's a male survivor. And I tell you, his story is riveting. It's touching. And congratulations. Kevin's going to be having a hearing finally. He's been trying to get a hearing for a long time. He finally got the hearing. I think it's June 19th. So everybody pray for Kevin because he definitely needs some support from us and prayer. So that was Kevin. And the video was shot by Amon Bradford. So that's what Veteran Council Veteran is all about. We're about preventing veteran suicide. Before we go about what the things we got coming up, I always like sharing is caring, sharing is caring, sharing is caring. I always tell everybody, you really want to help Tony out, Veterans Council Veteran out, just share our post. It doesn't cost anything. It's a click of the finger, and there you share, and you don't know who you may have touched just by sharing that. So those out there who want to help Veterans Council Veteran out, just share our post, and it'll reach somebody you may not know that needs to be reached. So, of course, I always want to highlight people who have shared our events. I want to thank you, Timothy Franklin, for sharing our event. Sandra City from out of Gainesville, VA. Thank you, Sandra, for sharing our post. Jonathan Ferris, known Jonathan Ferris a couple of years now. And so thank you, Jonathan, for sharing our post. Maxine Reyes, thank you, Maxine. I know Maxine very well for a long time. And she had an event last Saturday, that couldn't event, but thank you, Maxine, for sharing it. Ashley Sard, she with Empath, and she should be part of our event next week. Jamie McPherson from the Crisis Center. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing. Pamela Drake. Haran's always sharing. So this guy got a lot of followers. So I really appreciate Haran showing it. Dr. Allison Smith, thank you for sharing. Roger Hickman, who's a frat. Thank you, Roger, for sharing. And finally, but last but not least, is Nanette Rogers. Thank you, Nanette, and for sharing. Again, this is sharing is caring. If you really care, then all you got to do is push that repost button, and you then went from saying it versus doing it. It's all about saying. It's all about doing, not saying. So I definitely want to talk about that. So thank you again for the sharing piece. I also want to bring up that we are having our conference on the 14th of June coming up next week. I'll talk more about that later in the program, but know about our conference as well. So to all of you guys out there, what did you do for Memorial Day? I can tell you what Veterans Council Veterans did for one. We went to like 5 events. I tell you, one of the most busiest times for a veteran is Memorial Day and Veterans Day. That's when all of a sudden everybody knows who you are, and you got so many events that are double stacking on each other. And I really spent it out there. Even though this event I'm posting to you, I'm very proud of this event. This is not a moral event, but I thought it's one of the most important events I had this week. And this is when we finally met with Pinellas County Commissioner Dave Eggers. Dave Eggers was a great supporter of veterans. He's not a veteran himself, but his brother was a veteran. His dad was a veteran, and he's a big supporter of Veterans Council Veterans. He's also part of the Community Veterans Engagement Board. And we went and met Dave. And you see next to my right, next to me, actually Brigadier General Johnny Johnson is to my left, an Army officer who retired as a Brigadier General. And then, of course, to my right is Carrie Nero, who's part of our board. She's a PhD in nursing and been a great supporter. And Dave was kind of surprised when we had 2 general officers in the room talking. So we had a great conversation, and I hope we need to follow up. So what else did you do, Tony? I'll tell you what else I did for Memorial Day as well. We went to Bay Pines flag placement, and there you see my dad. I got to plug my dad. My dad's over to the right. He's not part of Bay Pines, but I got to plug him in. Love your dad. He's 88, be 89 in a couple of months, and he's over in Delaware. But to the left of me, you'll see I was with old T-Man Brown. He's up there. At the flag ceremony at the Bay Pines Cemetery. And some other people that met from Red, White, and Blue, Taryn. And, of course, to the right, you see Robbie. And I saw Robbie everywhere. Robbie Rover everywhere. He's part of the I think it's the Veterans Foundation there at the Bay Pines. So I wanted to give a shout-out. That's one of the events that I went to starting that morning. Then I went to Reagan Park Senior Forum. That's another one that we like, Reagan Park. They had a senior forum over there at the park inside. I want to give a shout out to them. And as to the right, you can see down there is Jill Nero. Jill Nero actually had to come all the way. She was flying, so she had to fly all the way in, come to the event to make that event. So that's just dedication. Thank you, Jill Nero, for being there. Really appreciate you. We also went to the Clearwater Honor Fest. I saw Robbie again and the Colonel there speaking. That was a very important event. A lot of members, people that I knew that was out there as well. And I'm missing one folder. I got to make sure I need this folder. Let me grab it for you guys. I'm really proud of this folder here. It's loading right now. So here, this is I like this photo here. There where we met at the Hillsborough had their memorial service on the 25th. Here you see them to my left. You have Senator Jay Collins. He's a Green Beret Special Ops and now senator from my area, and he's there as well. And then we got the James David Dunning he's the director of the James A. Haley VA. And then to my right, I got some of the power brokers here. We got all the way to the far right. We got Dexter Barge, who's assistant manager for Hillsborough. And then right next to me, you have Alfred Carter, who's the chief of staff for Florida Department of Veteran Affairs, and his wife, Marlene, who's also a retired person. Both of them, she's a retired veteran. Both of them retired, and great to have them there. So that was a really good meetup as well. So that's kind of a quick rundown of kind of what I was doing for that. But I want to talk about my event, my special event that I had, ceremony that I had for the 24th. And this event is for people who lost a veteran or first responder to suicide. And I think the only one that did it, we only did that does, especially in the state of Florida, maybe in the country. And we wanted to give those people who lost a veteran or first responders a safe space to be there. And we did that. We always do it as 11th one, as you see there, 11th annual Jim Ramos was our special keynote speaker. And I'm excited because we had a lot of special dignitaries there. We had the Commissioner Warso from Hillsborough was there. State Representative Bernie Jack came from Pinellas, so that was like bipartisan. We had both sides of the bay there. And we had the representative from Driscoll. But more importantly, we had the director of Florida Department of Veteran Affairs, Major General retired James Hammer Hartzell. And that's important because he represents the state. I want you to hear a little bit about General.
Responsible for all the veterans for the state of Florida is saying this. We hopefully get more chances of breaking that stigma because now he's talking about it.
Yeah, I serve a governor who's a combat deployed Navy veteran. He was in war and he saw the flag draped caskets being put on a ramp and sent home. He understands why we're here. Memorial Day ceremony, celebration, and it's for our families and friends and survivors. That's what we're here for. I've personally talked on my cell phone to a number of veterans who didn't want to be with us anymore. And what they remember, with tears in their eyes to this very day, that age, is their brothers who didn't come home with them from war. That's what they remember. That was their family in combat. So to me, it doesn't matter what the circumstance is. If you're a family member of someone who's not here and you're grieving still in your heart or honoring, that's why we're here, to recognize and support you. Nothing else really matters right now. So of all the places I get to go, and I want to be this weekend, this is where I told my boss I'm going to go today. I want to be here because of Tony and Veterans Counseling Veterans, because we do help each other as veterans.
More important is that I keep saying that veteran suicide is a national problem, but as a local solution, and it's us. We are the village. One thing I always say about Veterans Council veterans, we just don't talk about it, we be about it.
So here we go. Let me get down the main person. So that was General Hartzell. That's very important. General Hartzell spoke because, again, it's the state. When you have the state involved, you're just not doing your county and local, but the actual state involved. And that's why I was so glad that he was there for that event. And I thought one thing that I thought was very important is that we had people who have not spoken about knowing someone died by suicide until it was our event. And that's what it's about. It's about providing that confidence, the comfort that you can actually talk about what you've gone through. And the reason why I actually broadcast that, and I broadcast it for a specific reason. I had a friend of mine who I knew when I was in the military, named Lieutenant Joe Banovich. And we were like three amigos. We were all lieutenants back in 1990, right after the Desert Storm War, and we were stationed together in Dexheim. Me, Joe E. Marty, and Joe Banovich, and I knew him then. But and flash forward, and I looked. I was doing something in D.C., and I got a text from Joey Morty. He said, "Did you see Joe Banovich's post?" And I went and looked at Joe Banovich's post, and on his post, he was the keynote speaker at the Worcestershire Polyester Institute, where his son was, and his son went to there, and he was a keynote speaker, and he talked about how his son Ronan died by suicide. And I said, "Wow, we have two things in common." You'll see on this video, but I wanted to sit there and honor Joe's and Marine. His wife is named Marine, actually retired Major General. And I wanted to sit there and honor them. So I said, the only way to do that, and he can see it, if I tape it and broadcast it. So I did broadcast it, and I wanted to get a chance to see this event.
We know Memorial Weekend as veterans from military who've fallen. I said to myself, what about people who may have died by suicide? I said, where do they go when they want to sit there and honor that veterans? I want to create a place that had two purposes: to give them a safe space, the friends and the families who've lost a veteran, and the second one is the post-vention side. So you see these events, then you don't see it as a solution. You now realize that's not really what you think it is. Lieutenant Joe Banovich, when I know him, he gave a keynote speech at his university, Worcester WPI, and he talked about the loss of his son. His son died by suicide, first year of college school. He went to the same school his dad went to. And I said, Joe, we got two things in common. I tell the people out there. One, we both served together, and two, we understand the importance of remembering that person that died by suicide. So I promised him on LinkedIn. That's why it's called a special memorial. One day it'll be normal, but right now it's a special memorial for those who lost a veteran or first responder to suicide. I wanted, for this one moment, I want to elevate Ronan to a veteran status just for this conversation. I want you to know, everybody out there, I recognize you, Ronan. I appreciate you, and I love your father and mother, Joe Marine, and we will not be forgotten, at least on this ceremony.
So that's why I did it. And again, I did it for Joe and his wife, Maureen. Your son, Ronan, will not be forgotten. We're honored, and hopefully it gives you some solace in this. As we did this event here. So that's why I did it. As far as the broadcast. Whew, so that's what we did for that. It was a very tough time. We had a great time, but I wanted to definitely make sure you know about this. Now, another reason why I want to talk, we got a chance. The guy coming up pretty soon. We're going to have our Elderly Veterans Conference, our first of two. We have one on the 14th of June in Hillsborough, 9 to 3. Egypt Shriners Club, which is right here. I can find it. Egypt Shriners Club, right here. It's going to be here at the Egypt Shriners Club. We're going to have, from 9 to 3, we're going to have a conference that brings in resources, includes from the vendors to the speakers, but also topics on subject matter experts to give you that information. Because it's all about connecting, I call it connecting, educating, which will empower you to make decisions. And we have everybody involved in it. We got the Florida Department of Veteran Affairs. They'll be there to talk about their nursery homes. We got the VA from the James A. Haley. This is thanks to Jason Labat for providing me the support. We're going to have people talking about the geriatric and extended care. We're going to talk about the Caregivers Program, and we got some counselors as well. So that's very important. We're going to have counselors talk. We're going to have a panel of people who have lost, who are taking care of veteran and with mental health to talk about the mental health questions. We're going to have the Hillsborough Veteran Service County there. They're going to be talking about the benefits that the veterans receive, and we're going to have Bay Area Legal. So we're going to have the community with experts to be there. You need to be there. If you're a veteran or a family member of military, it is free. I'll say it again. If you are a veteran, family member, or a military, it's free to you. And all you got to do is be there, and we're going to feed you. So we're going to feed you as well. Please share. I'll put the link up in the comments. Please share this event. I'm very excited about this. And so we'll have another one on the 28th of June, which will be in Bay Pines. That's what's coming up in that case. So I wanted to make sure you knew about this, and we had to update. We got a lot of stuff going on, as we said before, and I think we've come to the end of this. Yes, we did. We've come to the end. A quick, took about 15 minutes. I hate taking more than that, especially on a Friday. Everybody get out of there. They want to hear my voice, and what I'm talking about. But please have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. There's a lot of events going on. I want to give a plug out for the AUSA having their ball on the 14th of June. I think it starts at 5, right after my event. So make sure you get your tickets for the AUSA ball. I want to thank everybody out there, and I see you next week as we get an update, as I get closer and closer to my event on the June 14th from 9 to 3 at the Egypt Center, and it's going to be our Serving Our Elderly Veterans Conference. Until then, outro.